brigade podcast I was doing, Black Rose Brigade. Erica White's Trash Social, she about to be on. So I'm gonna tweet this out.
All right, bro. Now I'm connected to you. I'm gonna try to turn on my camera.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, how do I enable? Okay. Oh snap. Okay. Let me hit this reset. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to restart Discord to make it talk to my camera correctly. Okay.
It's all good, bro.
I'll be right back.
No rush.
I'm almost there. But thanks.
Yeah, we just getting started. So I'm gonna pull that Guardian article first, then I'm gonna tweet it out, talk about that. I have some words for Al Sharpton too, and the black bourgeoisie that is talking shit about defund the police. I want to get some honest thoughts on what people think about that too. Guardian.
So we get this. Okay, you know what? This is the wrong. Okay, got it. I understand what's going on.
There it is.
I understand. Okay, this one. This is the right one. Okay.
Alright, so I have that one. I have that.
Cool.
Man, I still got a lot of work to do. I still got to connect with Twitch. Like I said, I still got the super chat stuff. I'm still new to this game, but I'm get everything.
Almost there, bro. Almost there. Ooh,
yeah.
We go. What's up, man? Oh my God, here I am back on the progressive martial artist.
Hey,
yo, you heard
brother?
Me?
Hey, man, I'm glad you hopped on.
What's up, man?
I was literally just thinking, like,
no doubt.
I need to find some people that can hop on with me because I decided to do this live impromptu because I was about to just record some videos on some topics I want to talk about. But I was like, fuck it, why not go live? I need some practice. I need to get on.
It's all good, man.
We can always real. What's going on in your universe, bro?
Yo, I'm glad I could be here.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to see you on, man. What's going on in your universe? What's going on with you, brother?
Oh my God, it's crazy. I think I CC'd you on an email recently, but it's crazy if you really want to talk about it. But you know, I'm not here to.
No, whatever you want to talk about, brother. Whatever you want to talk. I saw your email. I only had time to skim it.
All right.
Just the things have been crazy, but
I seen that you've been having some good talks with the MPP. I think they could be good, and I don't want to do anything to like maybe hurt your position with them because if they endorse you, it could like expand your platform. All right. So the thing is that the thing is that one thing about me as a YouTuber is that I really came in like YouTube for me is second, and for me the main thing is like the activism.
Yeah, that's
you know
me
what I mean?
Too. That's me too,
so like yeah. That the YouTube is just there to supplement the activism, not like the other way around, which is like a lot of people first and the activism second, which I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? Like everybody has their choice, but that's my specialty. Yeah. So like I've been part of like third party movements for over 20 years. So a lot of people like who come into MPP, right? They say like, oh my God, it's a third party and everything's gonna be perfect. Guess what? It's not. You know what I mean? And they're subject to this. Yeah,
I definitely understand that.
Yeah,
I'm not under any disillusions that it's gonna be like some sort of utopia.
Perfect. Yeah,
like utopia.
It's not.
Party. Because that was the main thing I was worried about in the first place. I'm like, all right, so we're gonna start this new party. We gotta make sure we don't make the same mistakes that other left organizations have made. Not even just left, any organizations have made when they come up with these parties, because a lot of the issues that we have with the current like Democratic and Republican Party structure is the fact that the people don't really have voice, that there is this hierarchy that don't really listen to the average person. So we don't want to just create a new party. We don't want to create a new system that will just replicate that same issue. So I know exactly where you're coming from, bro. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And ground activists do get that. Street activists, I call them street activists versus armchair activists. We get it. You know what I mean? A lot of the armchair activists don't really understand because they've never seen things from that particular perspective. Yeah. So the thing is that, like, ever since I joined, right, like, one thing that was exciting was at first they seemed to be listening to what I was saying. They seemed to have, like, the correct organizational structure to get things done. But then once I actually started, like, pressuring to actually, like, beyond just talking about it, I want to actually see things happen, such as, like, promotion of Assange. Assange is suffering right now because, So I pushed super hard for that, and plus I had like an agreement with the guy. When I say something, like that's what another thing I love about martial artists. You know what I mean? Like the thing is that like we ain't got time for the BS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we just get right to the point. You know what I mean? Right to the point. Because other people like they say only posters advertise. You get what I mean? You either got it or you're just talking. You know what I mean? You either you know what I mean? People who all talk. They say the quiet ones cause riots, and the loud ones, you know what I mean? They don't want to try it. You know what I mean? So, like the thing is that when I was promoting the Assange thing, I kept getting this weird pushback. Even to this day, even though you see them publicly supporting Assange, yeah, they won't talk about it. They won't put Assange on the platform. I was like, can we put the word? Can we? Yeah, I was like, can we explicitly put like our support for Assange on the platform? You know what I mean? I want to have it explicitly there, but they keep trying to change the subject, but don't want to talk about it. Another one of my and the thing is, it's not just. The thing is that the leadership is mostly comprised of burning people. I'm not mad at that. I see burning people as allies, right? But they're used to certain discussions, and they're used to not talking about Assange because Bernie didn't really talk about Assange. You get what I mean? That was more like that was more of a Tulsi crew issue. But Tulsi people are, in the MPP are like running Seattle, they're running Hawaii, they're running Illinois, and if you count myself, New York. That's a sizable, ground portion of the MPP. They should be, receptive, and plus it's just the right thing to do anyways. So why all the pushback? Even to this day, I do not believe that they have Assange on their platform. So let me check right now. Yeah, they refuse to put it directly on the platform. They'll talk about it on Twitter and stuff like that, which is cool. Yeah, let's look at it right now. Have they changed it yet now? You can see in my video, and I have footage of it, of me directly asking them to put it on the platform. They'll just ignore it. They'll just sideline it, and being minorities, we're used to our issues getting pushed to the side. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's really disturbingly familiar, these feelings here. Right now, you see in my video that a Illinois coordinator asked for a discussion regarding reparations. Yes. There's nothing wrong with having discussion about it. Just a discussion, you know what I mean? And honestly, the position on reparations should be up to the members. But they, you know what I mean? They don't want to talk about it. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? Is this a people's party or what?
Yeah, one of the biggest criticisms of the Green Party and their platform thus far was, and the way they've been acting this election is that it's been kind of undemocratic. I've been hearing a lot of rumors about that, how Harvey Hawkins kind of just pushed himself in, and there are a lot of people that was upset because there wasn't that bottom up approach towards the nomination, and there wasn't like that democratic group. So I would hate to see the same thing develop in the People's Party, because that was actually something that my good friend Rome he brought up when we had our podcast. He was having a hard time that the fact that the reparations wasn't on the platform. And like I said, I need to look at the platform. I need to study the platform a little bit more, so I can see exactly what's included and what's not included. You should link me that video, because you said you did a video kind of discussing that, right?
Yeah, I have a whole playlist of the different ways that they came at me and stuff like that. But I'm actually on the platform. Is there a way to share my screen on Discord?
Yeah.
I'm kind of new to. I'm not really do Discord that much.
I think everyone has permission to do it. You see where it says video, where you can turn the camera on and off. Hit share screen. See if that works.
Okay. Look at that. Okay, true that. Okay. All right.
Because I think okay.
So go
ahead and share that, bro.
Okay. I'm gonna put cool. So it's right there. Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can.
So right now, let's take a look at the economy. That's economy. Defend and uphold democracy. I think we'd go under there. Defend civil liberties. Okay. So I'm gonna do a quick search for the word Assange over here.
Go ahead. Why you do that? Hey, Jackie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Jackie, welcome. This is my boy djelf7. We've been in conversation.
Hey, what's up? Jack, nice to meet you.
I'm glad you were able to jump on. I guess I had a few topics I want to bring up, and I'm glad djelf brought this up as well, because I'm all about talking about the People's Party and what we can do to improve it. But feel free, anything that you guys want to bring up, anything that seems current. That's why I decided to go live here. Just kind of do general news talk. Also saw what Al Sharpton was saying, and the pushback that a lot of the Black leadership have been pushing regarding the real people's movement that been going on defund the police. I would love to see what you have to say about that as well. Jackie, you're
Me?
soon. Yeah, have you
My
seen
real
that?
question is, why is anybody listening to Al Sharpton? I thought we knew a long time ago that he
I
was
don't know
nobody
how
to
he
be
still.
listened to.
Yeah, I don't know how he still have credibility. But for some reason he
That's what I'm
does.
saying. He doesn't. Like, why is anybody listening
And
to
that's
him?
exactly why that was
He's
that's exactly why I want to bring it up, because these are the voices that they led on MSNBC. Is the former
oh
FBI
well, I mean,
informant.
come on. That's the same place who had a woman who, okay, first of all, that was where that woman said that Bernie just creeps her out. She can't name why, but he just creeps her out. And other people were like, okay. And no pushback.
That's what they
It's the
had.
same network that had
Body language expert.
the body language, exactly. The body language expert that said Elizabeth Warren was telling the truth. She hadn't told the truth her entire life. Hello, Heritage Gate. Come on now.
So you got that people, you got that People's Party thing. I think you got some put up here. I want to look at this too, because I haven't really seen that much of that. Let me see if I can put it on the district. There it is. I got it on the district.
So you can find the closest thing that they have. Yeah. The closest thing they have to Assange is talking about, like, people need access to free and uncensored information in order to make informed democratic choices. That's cool. That, protect net neutrality, that's cool, right? But the thing is that if you take a look at it, there's no explicit mention of Assange or Snowden. And I would really, come on, guys, So they're making like a bunch of Twitter posts. They don't want to put it on the platform for some reason. And I don't think it's really because they don't want to, but they want to exert their dominance and show that they are in.
So has Nick did Nick ever say anything publicly about Assange? Because I know a lot of the speakers that was at the convention, like Chris Hedges and a lot of those people, they are very sympathetic to the idea of Assange. Especially, I know for a fact Jimmy Dorsey, he was one of the speakers, one of the big platformers. Ryan Knight, I think he's on one of the boards there, I believe. I don't want to misspeak, but he was tweeting about
Yeah.
Assange. So I see a lot of people show support for Assange in the party, but not having it on the platform, that definitely could be an issue. I definitely see what you.
I've been approaching a lot of these other like YouTubers and stuff, but the thing is that MPP has like a lot of viewers and stuff, and they're real popular. So it's very tempting to just ignore problems that are on the ground because these YouTubers get access and they're rewarded with viewers and access.
Yeah.
But the thing is that these YouTubers aren't really like ground activists, so they don't really. I've never seen them in the Slack. I've never seen them base camp. They don't know what's going on. They're just promoting this organization as the People's Party. They don't really know if the organization is the People's Party. So I find that really kind of irresponsible.
So because I know you have your head on the ground of Tosi world or whatever. How do a lot of people in the Tosi crowd feel about the movement of the People's Party?
Okay, so the Tulsi camp, to tell you the truth, the Tulsi camp is kind of scattered right now. The best group that kind of has it together is Yang Gang. Within the Tulsi movement, there's a sizable number of people that actually went to something called the Progressive Party. So that's Michael Rushniak. He's actually got like one of the larger, I think, Tulsi 2024 groups. There's also a guy named James Roguski, who's kind of went with there's something called Progressive Party. I'm actually still cool with, I think that MPP has, because of its name brand recognition, has a great opportunity here. So I'm still trying to be an MPP, and they haven't set the conventional bylaws until next year anyways. So at that point, I'm going to try to contest them and take over and get myself into a board position, because there has to be some. How can everybody see things exactly the same way? Like, is that a healthy democracy? It's absolutely not. So, yeah. In Tulsi land, there's just not enough activism. There's too many armchair activists. There's not enough street activists. Like, if you see, like, all the footage again and again, who's the one making, look for other Tulsi supporters at Assange events? It's me, and then you don't see a lot of other, what other, have you heard of any other Tulsi activists?
I don't personally know a ton, because I know I'm pretty close with Nico House. I know he was a Tulsi surrogate. Me and him were boys.
Yeah. Cool.
There was a few people on Tulsi Twitter that I'm pretty familiar with. I talked to. a lot. But like I said, I don't have I don't got my head on the ground on Toasted Twitter. I got a lot of allies and in Toasted Twitter, like on people that we just kind of mutuals. We're not like close friends. Enough where we like and retweet each other's stuff, and they appreciate me as a comrade. But I was just wondering like how they actually feel about it.
So on Twitter, I added you to a group called Power Anthem Network, and those are kind of like my boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to like gather all the different. We need to be a coalition. So generally, right, Tulsi supporters, they know, right, that they, because I've been doing it so long, they do not question my heart in this and my loyalty to the movement. You know what I mean? Because I've been grinding and I'm still staying grinding. So, the MPP for them is kind of new. And if you look at the comments overall, you can see that most of the comments are positive. And they're like asking, like, why are they doing this? And no, MPP has never provided clear explanation for, any of their actions. They just think that they're too high and mighty to have to explain themselves. That's a huge warning sign.
Yeah. I said, my hope is that's them in their early growing pains, because I know they just had their big convention, and I think they may be at a point right now where they just want everything to go so smoothly. They don't want to hear that much from outside voices just because they don't want to ruin their goal. I don't necessarily know.
Yeah.
I just want to. I think our goal, and I like what you're doing, because it seems like you're trying to push them, and that's what we need to do. We can't have a system of hierarchy. I don't know exactly where you stand, but I don't believe it. I don't like hierarchy.
The thing is that I'm not an outside voice. I was an inside voice. Not only that, but I organized actually one of the most successful, right, for New York State. Actually, I organized an event at Schumer's where we took some demands to his place. And if you watch the footage on that, like also when you watch their footage, right, like if you listen to their podcast, like it's some guy playing a guitar, like my shit is hip hop, you know what I mean? So there's like some cultural differences there, like as in terms of our approach. Like they have like kind of like a real kind of like corporate vibe, like the way that they run their meetings, you know what I mean? Like everybody's always smiling and saying yes, right? Whereas I'm more used to like, kind of like I come from the music industry. So like, dudes was always just talking like, yo, what's this? And people go to the meetings in like sweatshirts and Timbs, you know what I mean? Like sweatpants and Timbs. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? Like that's just how we was showing up. So certain like things that I do for them, they find annoying. But if you take a look at like, I was inside, I didn't want to take this all public. If you go back to like the history and you watch the videos, you'll see that I said, look, let's talk this out. Let's work this out. They just didn't respond. I said, if you don't, as a typical activist does, I said, if you don't respond in this certain amount of time, you know what I mean? Then we're going to progress to the next level and I'll start contacting press. And then that's exactly what I did. Then I contacted more press, you know what I mean? And then, we just accelerated to this point and they still don't want to talk. Okay. So I'm just going to keep going. And actually a lot of people are contacting me from like, because a lot of people have had like you said, even before you've even heard issues of people saying it's not really democratic up in there. And now like they're all running to me and I'm covering a wealth of information. So they really created this situation. So it's too bad for them.
Yeah.
We need an MPP to tell you the truth. Yeah. But they need to get their heads on right.
Yeah. I said, this is exactly what I was worried about at first, because a lot of people have issue with the Green Party. My goal at first, I really wanted a strong. As soon as when Bernie lost, I wanted to see a strong showing with the Green. I wanted to see the left kind of coalesce around the Green Party. Unfortunately, that didn't happen because a lot of people have legitimate concern. I'm not going to dismiss the concerns. I'm still going to vote for them, even though they had their issues. Because honestly, that's my lesser of two evil vote. Because when people claim that we should vote for lesser two evils, I don't accept their premise, because cause when you see the choice between Biden and Trump, I just see two evils. So when I look at lesser two evils, even though I have issue with the Green Party, I'm willing to swallow my pride to vote for them, even though I have some issues with Howie Hawkins. I really like Angela Walker. I really wish she was on top of the ticket. I think if she was on top of the ticket, the Green Party would be in a much better position right now. But there's a lot of issues going on with the Green Party that a lot of progressives have based on how they ran their
what are those issues?
See,
I keep hearing almost the exact same thing from so many people. Oh, if Angela was the top, I would do it, but they don't like Howie. What? Why? What is that? I haven't really looked into them. I was just like you. I was just like, well, the platform is the closest to the one that I want, so I'll probably vote for them.
Yeah, that's why.
But what are the issues they have with Howie?
So based on what I heard, there's a lot of shady stuff that was going on in the Green Party, and there's a lot of people that actually dispute it too. I mean, there's people that pro Howie, people that claim that the concerns have been overblown. If you, I mean, I know if you follow my Twitter, you see I haven't necessarily taken a side that much, but I have people that opinions I respect that came out and said that the Green Party is pretty much tanking their own chances. Erica, hopefully she can join me. 'Cause I think she was playing it much more. I know she said she considering joining here soon. Erica, she told me that one of the national co-chairs of the Green Party, they said they don't want to harm Joe Biden. They say they literally don't want to get 5% because they don't want to call Joe Biden election.
Yeah.
What?
Wait, hold on.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What? Like, why?
Well, what's the point?
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is the kind of issues I see.
But then again, you have Alaska. But then again, you have Alaska of getting Jesse Ventura in. So there is like a wide variance within the Green Party. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when I heard
I've seen that. I saw on Graham Elwood they have the coalition to draft Jesse Ventura into the Green Party, like as the Green Party representative. And I was like, but I thought they already had their convention and they nominated Howie Hawkins. So that's why I was a bit confused because it seems like there's a lot of hate going for Howie, and I'm like, what did he do?
Yeah, that's what I was. I was trying to stay on the fence as much as I can because if you know, like literally the days after Super Tuesday, the weeks after Super Tuesday, I went, all right, I'm hard into pushing the Green Party. And I remember when I was in the process of doing that, I had people, like I said, once again, not just random people, but people whose opinions I respect. That was like, hey, bro, you might want to look into like what the Green Party been doing, what they're saying, their strategy. And the big thing that turned me off is when I heard about the strategy, and I would love to see this confirmed because I heard it from multiple people that the Green Party strategy is kind of incoherent right now. What they saying, what they're going around, they got national co-chairs. Like I said, I'm gonna message Erica now see if she can get on because she was one of the people that told me about it. Where they said one national co-chair said they don't want Joe Biden to lose. They trying to do what they can not to. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Our main goal is to get 5%. What do you think? What are you thinking, DJ?
Some of the things about the Green Party is, first of all, remember that the Green Party also exists in Europe as well, right? So if you're thinking about it, like, is the Green Party a national coalition? How is the Green Party structure of the how is the structure of the organization devised? So it actually tells you they have non-centralized leadership, which is one of the reasons why you have this diversion, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not like necessarily as monolithic or single thinking. They do have a decentralized type of leadership style, which leads to this type of issues, which I think is healthy in a way, right? But also causes problems in other ways. By the way, I just want to take a second. Wait, hold up. I want to change the subject just for a second. Yeah,
ahead,
okay.
Yeah,
Eric, I just met you. I want to find out. You have a YouTube?
Jackie,
like, what's up? I'm subbing now. I'm sorry, Jackie. I'm subbing now. Jack, you got a YouTube?
Oh no, I don't have a YouTube. I have a podcast though.
So where's that, on Spotify or something?
It might be.
How can I sign up?
It's called Rose Against the Machine. I just got the email today that it's on TuneIn. I just sent out for mass distribution, so pretty soon it should be pretty much everywhere. But as of right now, I know for a fact it's on TuneIn. It's on Podbean also. That's the host.
Okay, I did a Google search. I don't find it, a Bing search, but if you could put the link in the chat, later on, I will definitely get into that. Okay.
Sure.
I want to. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of,
like DJ Elf, DJ Elf is all about supporting, and we talk about talk about that as well. Because I don't know if you saw our podcast we have last Friday. We're gonna do every Friday. It's a podcast. A lot of black activists getting together. Hey, that's Alex. Awesome. So the whole thing is we need to grow our network. Hey,
Alex, what's up? What's up?
Hey,
what's up?
Awesome. Once again, Alex, this was an impromptu stream. I planned on just shooting some videos and recording, but I was like, fuck it, I might as well practice streaming. So I was like, I'm gonna just throw this together. And my boy DJ Elf was in the comments. I invited her on. Jackie's always invited. Obviously, you're always invited as well. Our whole thing is I think we should grow this network because one of the biggest problems that I saw that caused the progressive movement, not even just Bernie, it was Yang that suffered from this, Tosi that suffered from this, because the corporate media shut us out. So we need to have.
I just got to call you right back. Give me a couple minutes. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll be right back.
You good? You good? So, cause that's I think that's the goal because what we did. Oh shit, nice. Erica said she's gonna be in 15 minutes.
Nice.
Perfect. But the reason I wanted to do this because I think the biggest reason why we lost, the biggest reason why Bernie lost, the reason why Yang was stuck in the position he was in, the reason why Tosi never really she grew a lot actually to spend how she started, but she never got over that giant hump. It's because of the corporate media lockdown, shutout, blackout. I still haven't watched the documentary on Vice about the Bernie blackout. I heard nothing but incredible things about how they covered because it actually wasn't holding punches when they made that documentary. I can't watch it because it still hurts. It still.
I was gonna say I never watched it because I knew that I would just I would trash something. I would throw something. It's too soon. It's too soon.
Yeah. Every time someone brings up like how'd you feel right after the Nevada primary, it's like fuck off. Just I need to grieve still.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, because I saw it in live time. Because the documentary is like very important for people who don't follow politics that often. But I'm like, bro, I literally seen it every single step of the way, and I can write a book about the media bias and all the shameless media behavior that surrounded this primary. I'm gonna tweet this out.
Which is exactly why we need independent media like yourself. So honestly, I'm feeling that shirt. By the way, that shirt's freaking awesome. Yeah, show that shirt off right there that you got. That shirt.
Yeah,
that's badass. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this.
When are you gonna? If you go to if you can, you should honestly get some. Cause I like the martial arts aspect. You need to go on what's it called? There's some kind of website. I forgot which one it is, but I think it's like Teespring or something, and get some T-shirts made. I want to get a progressive martial artist T-shirt, and also as soon as you get the super chat up, I'm gonna be competing and be the first dude to put a money super chat in because I'd like to make history.
That's why
you know what I mean? So what's up?
Yeah, I'm glad Alex came on here because I was literally before I went live, I was like, I'm gonna look into Twitch, and I'm like, man, I can figure this shit out on my own. Hell no. I was looking around like, bro, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
It's a lot easier than you think.
Yeah,
I
bet it was.
One suggestion. Don't use Teespring. I've used them. They're not great.
Yeah,
I'll send you some suggestions on print on demand.
That's the only one I know.
Yeah, but I have.
I'm not mad at that. That's the only one I know.
So I want to do that. So and also I want to get the donation chat and everything hooked up in there eventually. This is only like what my second or third week actually streaming. And that's why I want to do this, just so I can get kind of more used to the flow and get everything set up. I want to get the Twitch and everything set up, but I was like, man, I want to get live. I want to start talking. I'm gonna do that probably a little bit later tonight because I need a fan.
Simulcast, you know that, right? You can stream you can do two at the same time.
I know. I was trying.
Yeah, I mean, like as far as the streaming part, all you have to do is get a Twitch stream key, and that's it.
I literally had that part. I literally just
all you have to do is make an account
a few days ago. Because Twitter, I don't like social media. Twitter is like the only social media that I've been on. But I think at this point I need to kind of expand. My boy Nick Lyles in this bitch. Hold up, that really Nick? Hold up. What's good, bro?
I've been trying to back off of Twitter a bit because I just been like way too stuck on it.
Man, I honestly need a break.
Hey, what's up, yo?
What's up, Nick?
For the last few.
I'm glad you hopped on. We just talking shit.
Good, man. How are y'all?
You doing good? I have a few topics I want to talk about, but right now we just shooting the shit, talking shit. And like me and djelf was saying, like we trying to grow this network. So I'm figuring I'm gonna have like live streams like this every about 3, 4, 5 times a week. Structured, non-structured, whatever you guys want to have on your mind. So what are you looking at, Nick? What's on your mind, bro? You chilling?
Man,
blow it up,
bro. Yeah, my Twitter's kind of going crazy right now, being canceled for no reason.
I saw that, bro.
What'd you do?
Bro,
he's a comedian. You know what happens when you're a comedian.
So there's like,
oh, wait, was that the diagram of the women thing? I saw that.
yeah, that's me. I don't know what happened, dude. Like, so I get on and like, I mean, what time was it? I posted at like 10 o'clock this morning. I barely had a coffee. It was just like something stupid, right? I share my screen with you guys. Let's see.
Where'd you go?
Am I right here? You guys see me?
Nope. Yeah, turn your camera back on.
And my camera's off. Okay. Oh yeah. So, hey, how do you share your screen?
Right next to the video button says screen next to it.
Okay. Right next to the video button. Let's see, Bluetooth.
Oh, like underneath the channel list down there. There should be a...
Oh, let's see. Stream. Yeah, I don't know how to do this. I'm bad at streaming. You saw it? Yeah, can you share your screen? Let me, if you know how to do it, because I'm just bad with technology.
I can pull mine up.
Let's see.
So that image is the image that you're canceled for?
Yeah. Where is it?
I got it.
You got it? Okay.
There we go. Yeah. So this is so actually go. So like if you actually go to like my profile and just scroll down to see the original tweet. So yeah, this one, right? So yeah, that's so like, and if you look, like someone comments like down the, yeah, so someone just made a dumb joke like, yo, if you're not about eating ass and licking shit, it's just something beyond stupid, right? And someone keeps scrolling. I think
Sorry,
they're probably like all the way down. Yeah, it's just a silly tweet, right? It's beyond silly.
So y'all going over? Let me put the stream on here. Bigger screen. Oh yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, keep scrolling. It's some person with a frog in their avatar that like starts commenting.
Man, I love my brothers.
Yeah, they
sisters
shish.
on the left, man, but some people
Yeah. So take a look at your misogyny. Unfollowed. This is beyond fucked up. And I was just like, what? So like, yeah, and so like in the comments somewhere, someone said like, this is kind of weird to diagram a woman like a cow, and I was like, and I just said something stupid. It was like a dumb throwaway comment about like, oh, I like my women like I like my beef diagram. just dumb. Just dumb. This is dumb. And then so like this turns into like a whole thing where that person like after like and that person starts commenting, they were like, dude, this is not it. This is not it. I was like, okay. And so I just blocked them. And then I don't know who Simone is, but she jumped in and she just like apparently is the arbiter of all things funny with her PhD in comedy.
Yeah, then she started research comedy.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that.
My favorite comment is the Mikey guy. No, he's saying he literally likes women to have dotted lines drawn in them. Kink shame much?
Yeah, right?
I literally just made a post about this kind of shit, man. I said no one.
I thought the left was better.
I hate no fun lefties, man. Like there's legit.
Dude, I saw your comment about that.
It's not even degrading. Like the diagram, it's not.
Yeah, it's a weird like it's like something out of Cosmo or something stupid like that. You know, it's like, and it's just like a silly post about licking shins.
People need to realize it doesn't help us, man. It doesn't help us at all.
Yeah.
Hypersensitivity.
This was someone's praxis for the day, guys. This was their praxis.
Yeah, no one, like I said, no one likes a no fun lefty, and that's something I kind of know that there's some left wing people. I made that post before. I'm glad it did pretty well because I think a lot of people know exactly what I'm talking about when I say a no fun lefty. The kind of people that they got like their stick up their ass. Everything has to be super pure. Everything has to be super pure, and it's constant. It's almost like a competition, like trying to see who's the most woke. Like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff doesn't help. And a lot of people that follow my politics, you guys know I'm fucking far left as shit. I'm not far left as my friend Alex here, but I'm pretty damn there on the spectrum. There's a way you can speak truth to power. There's a lot of ways you can be effective.
We'll get you there.
And going after their posts, I don't think that's not speaking truth to power. They're not helping nobody at the end of the day. Like I don't understand I don't understand people that do that. Like I understand if you say something that's super unhinged, super like beyond. I mean, that line is clear. I am like we got comments in that. To me, that line is clear.
Well,
and that wasn't the line.
Well, it's dotted. It's a dotted line.
I just want to point out the irony of the fact that the person who went after you retweeted Freckles saying some of y'all are more concerned with gotcha moments than actually talking to people.
Man,
how you gonna retweet that and be the one to go after people?
Some people have zero self-awareness.
Yeah, I mean,
liberalism.
And the girl and like and the girl Simone, she was just like she made multiple comments. I didn't like want to jump in on her page, but like she kept making multiple. He blocked my mutual. I blocked your mutual because your mutual was like on my page, like constantly commenting at me about something I don't agree with. And I'm not gonna go back and forth. I don't know that person. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you on my page if I don't know you. Like I'd rather just like simply ignore it and hit the block button. That wasn't like me trying to like protect my misogynistic joke. I just don't feel like dealing with it. You know, like.
I remember I had a friend. I don't know who the guy was because I didn't really look into him. I had my friend Thea. She messaged me and was like, "Some guy was talking shit about you because you blocked him." I'm like, What? Do you know how bad you got to be for me to block you? Like you are telling.
Dude, I block.
Yeah, I think I have like
block
5
0
people.
Yeah, I don't block anyone. Like it's like that person. It's like maybe a total like 4 or 5 people, and it's only people who make weird comments. Like if you make multiple weird comments, I'm just gonna be like, I'm not dealing with this. You know, like it's your Twitter.
I'm very lenient, bro. If you're gonna block you, if you're
I block anybody who seems adjacent to K-Hive. If you too close.
All right, now that's a legit way to
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's how you get the block. Yeah, no, I just. Yeah,
you know what? Because Twitter is a place of hope for me because like neolibs in real life try to like make your life as miserable as possible, but then you go to Twitter and you see all the leftists and you're like, no, I am normal. It's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine now. And so when they try to come into my, into my leftist bubble, I'm like, oh, get the hell out of here. So I realize that I'm in an echo chamber. That is by design.
Yeah, that's an okay thing.
Yeah. Well, just because like real life, you don't get that opportunity to control that. I'm just surrounded by neolibs everywhere I go. So I need this. This is my safe space.
Yeah.
I really hope.
And I'm like someone who's like generally like opposed to like cancel culture or like not even generally opposed to like being PC or like I think there's really smart ways that you can talk about like really like crass things. I think there's smart ways that you can approach all subjects, right? And it's just like, but this stuff is like what people are talking about when they say like cancel culture has gone too far. It's like there's nothing even here. You're just like reaching because you're mad about something, and this is your way of shouting into the void.
The reason why I hate the conversation, I agree with what you said 100%, Nick. But the reason why, and this example lays out exactly why I hate cancel culture, because people, what drives me crazy is you have a lot of liberals and you have a lot of conservatives that complain about cancel culture. But think about it. Who are the people who are being canceled? I don't know a goddamn one liberal or one right winger who got canceled. You know who get canceled? People on the left. The people on the left get canceled.
Yeah, exactly.
For example, Tucker Carlson is an unapologetic racist white supremacist. If we can't cancel his ass, cancel culture doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know who getting canceled?
Yeah, that guy still has a show.
You know who getting canceled? People on the left. People who don't have the giant.
Wait, you also have people.
Go ahead, DJ.
What about that? Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
Isn't one of the primary examples of canceling being that guy? What's his name? That big white guy who what is this called again? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Which white guy?
Oh, that one.
The big
Alex Jones. Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Alex Jones.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
he the first canceled guy?
And he wasn't really
like,
canceled.
Yeah, but he just keeps finding another platform. He's not permanent. He's never going to be permanently canceled.
And that was my argument because cancel culture doesn't exist. But whenever someone is so-called canceled, they get helped. They get helped. Like it only increases the brand. Yeah. The people who get canceled because we djelf7, he's a big Toasty person. Toasty was canceled. Like, you see what I'm talking about? It's always the people that are fighting against the establishment that are canceled. Instead, and then you have people. I can use Tucker Carlson as an example, but what about Joy-Ann Reid? Joy-Ann Reid is a blatant, hardcore homophobe. Like it is not like a conspiracy theory. She has literally
and an Islamophobe.
Yep. Like the list go on and on on the shady character of Joy-Ann Reid. Has she been canceled? Nope.
Hillary fucking.
So liberals don't
Hillary Clinton's still talking.
Hillary
Clinton.
Actual war criminal Hillary Clinton.
You commit war crimes.
Still walking through.
I have with cancel culture, or not necessarily cancel culture, but a situation like this. A situation like this tends to be crying wolf, so that when an actual situation that causes harm, like this person was like, oh, this is harmful to women. No, it's not. It's just a stupid joke, and nobody actually believes that, okay? But an actual situation that does cause harm to women, like, I don't know, say Tara Reid being sexually assaulted, that gets swept under the rug because it's considered it's considered crying wolf, and now you have to prove every single little thing, whereas... people like spend all their attention canceling a comedian who made a joke. What harm did you do with that joke? That literally everybody else was like, it was just a joke, move on. You either laugh or you didn't. Nobody cares. You know?
It wasn't even funny. Like, I mean, it was like, I wasn't even
it really wasn't
it's
even
not
funny.
Yeah, it was a really dumb joke. Like, it's just
that's my point. Like, all of the attention is set on things like this that don't actually do harm to women. Meanwhile, things that actually do harm to women, because of the mountain of controversy that's built up over, oh, that's harmful to women. When something is there's a legitimate issue, it's, oh, the boy who cried wolf. Like, y'all been talking about it too much. And now you have conservatives saying, like, I don't think women actually get harassed.
Yep.
That's the harm
that's the sad part.
It actually does.
We got Erica, the white trash socialist in
Hi.
the house.
Erica.
I'm glad you all swing by. I'm glad you have me on. Right now we're just shooting the shit. Like, I had a
I know. I rushed through my makeup because I wanted to make fun of Nick to his face for harassing all women.
We were just talking about that.
And
Erica's
you know, as soon as I saw that he was talking about man, I can't believe someone got upset about that. I laughed. I laughed out loud when I saw it, especially when you made the comment about like, I like my women diagrammed. It's harmless. It's funny. Like, everything fucking sucks right now. Like, just just laugh. Like, but no, there's always got to be someone that's like, just to play devil's advocate here. Like,
that's why I like your Twitter, Erica, because we both kind of have like the same kind of shit posting style in a way. Where I hate, like, I just talked about it before. I
get canceled every day.
Man, you gotta see the shit I get every day. I hate, like I said, I'll tell them I hate no fun lefties. Like, you guys know I'm super serious about the issues that I advocate for. But at the end of the day, man, life is so fucking stressful. I hate fucking thought police. I told you guys I'm a libertarian socialist, and I believe that in terms of not only how I believe government should be ran, I live that way as well in a liberated style. I don't like authority. That's always been that way. I was that guy in high school that the guy in trouble because I talk back to teachers because I get mad when authority tell me what to do. That's just how I am in a natural way. So when I see people trying to be the thought police and trying to censor people comedy and
exactly like that term, thought police.
It's like, it made me cringe, like, in terms of in my soul, man. I hate that shit.
I like to propose. Yeah, I like to propose something for cancel culture. So the thing is that I think everybody should have the right to cancel certain things out of their own feed. You know what I mean? Like, why am I always getting like this MSNBC freaking on my feed and YouTube? I had no desire to watch that shit. You know what I mean? Fox News, they keep pushing me this mainstream media narrative. I want to cancel that from my feed. They're not letting me do that, right? But the thing is that also, I think that I like that libertarian view. If someone, even Alex Jones is out there, right? I don't want anybody telling me that I can't be able to watch his content. You know what I mean? So for me, I think that cancel culture is kind of like that, you know. And
you only helping him.
How do you guys feel about that particular aspect?
Like, you only helping when you only helping his brand. Like, he got more popular ever since there's these giant media apparatuses that go after him, because now he can say they validate in the right wing talking point that there's some sort of liberal media that coming after these kind of people, even though there's studies that show that the people that get the largest amount of censorship is on people on the left. Actually, like, these are people who get their Facebook pages taken down. Like, there's a lot of anti-war groups on Facebook that constantly get their shit taken down. And then whenever there's like one right wing group that get their shit taken down, it's a big story. And this is also another criticism I have with the media, because the media always amplifies right wing protests and right wing concerns, because you hear about whenever leftist media is canceled and whenever their shit get pulled down. But do you ever hear a peep about that in terms of the media and how they covered it? Whenever there's a concern from the right wing,
the media is the one trying to do it. They're the ones that are like the quickest to hop on and try and just discredit anything that comes from leftists. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't. That's why I don't buy into it. Like, whenever I see, like, whenever there's like some sort of movement, and I see the liberal class all fall behind on it, I immediately get skeptical. I'm like, what? What are you guys doing? What you guys got planned? Because a lot of people make the mistake of thinking the ruling class are full of idiots. I hate when people say shit like George Bush is an idiot, Dick Cheney is an idiot, wherever is Trump is an idiot. Like, I don't like that shit. These people are malicious. These people are smart. They are trained, and they're. It's passed down from generation to generation. For example, Hillary Clinton said one of her mentors was Henry Kissinger. So what happened is you got people who are part of the ruling class for a long time, and they teach the new members of the ruling class how it's done. Like for example, when Joe Kennedy was about to get in, there's a reason why Nancy Pelosi and all them falling behind Joe Kennedy, because Joe Kennedy was like the next generation of the establishment that they were trying to prop up. So once again, these people are not dumb. Joe Kennedy is not dumb. I hate when people use that because it gives them an escape instead of them being malicious and instead of them being corrupt, because everything they do, everything they say is well planned out and it has a reason. This is what the main focus of my Twitter, the main focus of my YouTube. I want people to understand how they think and where they're coming from. It comes from an evil, malicious spot. So when you see Kamala Harris, when you see her vote against the 10% military decrease, that shit isn't an accident. that shit is not an accident.
Yeah,
like that was her audition. That was her audition. If she voted for that military decrease, her ass would be vice president right now. So my thing is,
I still say it's the other way around. I still say that wasn't her audition. She was already in. That was her mask off. That was her saying, "Oh, I don't have to pretend to be progressive anymore. I can just vote the way I would have voted originally."
Let me make this full screen. I'm gonna try and increase the real quality here. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, and like I think you said it right. Where it's like whenever you see the ruling class coalescing around something, that's where you have an issue. Like when everyone in the halls of Congress stood up for Juan Guaido. You know, like that's one of those moments where you go like, oh no, this is like imperialism at its finest. Like this is one thing where everyone gets behind. There's no, I mean who was sitting? Maybe Sanders, maybe Bernie. Like that was it. Like everyone else.
People that were speaking out. You know Toasty, Toasty more than us. What was Toasty saying around the time during that? Cause DJ, do you know she was pretty vocal? Because I remember that. I'm glad you brought that up. Cause that was one of the most scariest moments I've seen, because remember that when Trump gave his State of Union address, and then when Juan Guaido was there, everyone stood up and everyone was on the same page. I'm like, hold up. I thought Trump was this crazy, unhinged threat. Like, why are you guys going along with his regime change? And that's why I don't have the Trump derangement syndrome, because everything that Trump does, like the worst things that he does, is enabled by the Democratic Party, enabled by Nancy Pelosi, or is done by precedent set by the Democratic Party. If Donald Trump was this giant threat, which I think he is a threat, but I think the establishment is a threat. The people that say that Donald Trump is this sort of threat, but then they got Nancy Pelosi in their banner, I'm like, what the fuck are you coming from? Like, what are you scared of?
It is funny because like they do literally fund, like they're like, Trump, like, you know how they were talking about like, Trump doesn't care about veterans the other day, and that whole hashtag made me want to throw myself off the building. But they, they'll talk about like all the crazy stuff that Trump does, and it's like, yeah, you all literally fund it and then vote against defunding him. You literally are giving. And the thing is, like, when it comes to foreign policy, it has a lot less to do with the president than people realize. Like, it's the Pentagon. It's up to the Pentagon, and they do what they do. But the thing that kills me, and there's something that will always make me laugh, is when people talk about how Trump is the most evil person in our government, when Mike Pence is way worse. He was my governor. Like, it's funny to me when people are like, there's literally no one else I could ever imagine worse than Trump. And it's like, y'all tried to put Mike Pence in the presidential spot. I don't give a shit what y'all think. Yeah. Like, he is so much worse on every single level. And this but he just doesn't tweet about it.
The thing with Pence is he genuinely believes it. Trump is a bit of a political grifter.
Dude, Mike Pence legitimately is like...
Pence legit believes, like, all you really need to know about Pence is his term as governor. That, what he did and attempted to do tells you everything about how he would govern the nation. And
I always tell people to look up how he treated our HIV outbreak in the country. Yep.
Oh, my favorite thing was at the end. So, like, he does mass harm, and then at the end, he's like, well, obviously, we have to take care of the situation. It's like, dude, you're the one that messed it up.
I'd like to comment on the military thing for a second. I'd like to comment on the military thing before we switch the subject. Yeah, go ahead. So the thing is that, think about it, right? If you compare the military-industrial complex and you compare that against Google or Microsoft, who do you think is bigger, the military-industrial complex or Google and Microsoft combined?
Oh, it's military-industrial complex.
Easily.
That's something that's not talked about. Their market influence, it's huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the number of contracts, government money flowing, and they talk about defund the police. What about defund the military?
Yeah.
Right there.
Exactly.
Notice
Exactly.
They go hand in hand.
That's why I
they're
find
very
it
effective at reforming the conversation. Yeah, they're very effective at reforming the conversation and trying to like guide the conversation. They already talked about like you heard of like astroturfing, right? Yeah, there's a lot of this going on, and that's why it's so. That's why what we're doing right now is so powerful, right?
Yes.
It's very hard for them to infiltrate this group because we can talk freely on what we want and exchange ideas and information. This is exactly what the future needs, and this is the future of media. Screw all the MSNBC, CNN. This is the future right here. So what's up, Fly Tie? I'm going to be part of this. I got my full support, and I want everybody here, by the way, who just came on the chat, everybody, put your links in the chat so I can subscribe to you right now because I want to be in contact with all you guys all the time. Yeah?
djelf7, he's really about it,
Thank
man. Because I see all the stuff you do with the Power Anthem Network, and unfortunately, like I said, I'm very interested in that kind of stuff, and the Black Brigade podcast that we have with a lot of Black leftists coming together, and I think this is a lesson that, like I said, I brought this up just a little bit earlier, but I can reiterate it. So the biggest thing that fucked everyone up, progressive-wise, Yang, Tulsi, Bernie, was media shutout, was the fact that they had control of the narrative from day one. Now, I had criticism of the Bernie campaign. I think they could have did a better job at regaining and recapturing that narrative, because I think the fact that Bernie Sanders was on Secular Talk only one time in 5 years, that's progressive malpractice. Why the fuck are you trusting MSNBC and CNN to get our message out? What the fuck is wrong with you? So once again, you can criticize Bernie on that, but at the end of the day, this giant media apparatus crushes progressive working class movement. So I think we need to create our own. Fuck it, we got the internet, and that what got me into doing this. So
well, it's funny that you say that, because you know how every establishment Democrat is making a podcast right now?
Yeah.
It's because they're afraid. They're legitimately afraid of people breaking away from watching mainstream media, because we don't. Like, first of all,
that's why I made a podcast.
Exactly, and that's why it's important, like, to help combat it. Because like I legitimately could not imagine watching or listening to a Pete Buttigieg podcast.
I would rather die.
That podcast is going to be like 3 hours of him saying all words that when you put it together, you're like, he never actually said anything. There's not a single coherent sentence out of all of the words.
You know, actually, there's a big discussion about the Yang Gang community because they call him Repeat. Yeah, because the thing, he's always copying Yang.
Yeah, he did.
If you look at the way that if you look at the way his whole thing is shaped up, it's like a Yang clone. It's hilarious. He's always like copying off of Yang's paper. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's hilarious.
And once again,
by the way,
ahead, bro.
As for Power Anthem Network, right? Honestly, what you have here is just as strong as Power Anthem Network. Power Anthem Network is about 6-7 cats, right? Yeah. So I think it's great because we can I think 6-7 cats is about a good number to have like a podcast like this where it works, and then we can have crossover series. But we are allies.
Yeah.
So
brother.
we are really commanding a very large community within ourselves, right, as this network conglomerate of different YouTubers. This is amazing. Yeah.
And this is why I try to tell people, because there's a lot of criticism of the Bernie campaign. There's some criticism of the Bernie campaign that drives me crazy. For example, the people that say we wasn't organized on the ground. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I was in South Carolina, and this is where I want to correct the record. We knocked on thousands and thousands of doors in the days and the weeks leading up to South Carolina. I was very impressed by our ground game because I was there. One thing that I know, and the reason why this group is important, and the reason why progressive media need to rise right now, because one thing that had me very shocked and very concerned leading up to South Carolina is basically my conversation I had with the voters, because I was shocked because I come from I live in Kansas City, born and raised. It's Midwest, but we got pretty modern technology. Internet's pretty good here. I was shocked when I went to South Carolina, especially a lot of the rural areas. There are a lot of people who don't even have basic internet. And I was talking to families down in South Carolina who didn't even know who Bernie Sanders was. And that sounds crazy to us. But I was literally knocking on the door, and I'm like, we got Bernie Sanders. He's like, I'm not really, who Bernie Sanders? I'm not really familiar.
Nope, I had that out in Indiana too. I know.
So if you
had that in Indiana and Virginia.
Exactly. Yeah. So people want to criticize the Bernie campaign. I'm like, bro, you are literally taking away a lot of the influence that the media had. The media locked out Bernie from the conversation. A lot of these people who went to South Carolina, I was talking to them, they literally only get their news from MSNBC and CNN or Fox News. Like, that's only the outlet they have, because there are some people in some rural areas, even when they didn't have internet, the internet is so bad it's pretty much unusable. Like they can check their email and they can do that kind of stuff. Once again, this was a culture shock for me because this is something that was brand new to me. Like so people saying that we was on the ground fight, I'm like, bro, I was there, bro. Don't tell me that we didn't have a ground game. We had an insane ground game, especially in Charleston. Yeah. I was down in Beaufort. I went to Charleston last weekend, and there was countless activists everywhere just doing massive door knocking. And then you look around, there was nobody from the Joe Biden campaign. Not one person.
He still doesn't. He still doesn't have that.
He still doesn't.
So what's the over-under on the Biden
Clyburn.
campaign cheating in South Carolina?
Sorry, what was that, Jackie?
What do you guys think is the over-under on the Biden campaign cheating to get the win in South Carolina so that they could do the coup and just take over?
Everyone who was down South Carolina, like that result was shocking because our conversion rate was insane in South Carolina. Like every time I talked to a voter, especially like the days leading up to it, I had people like, yeah, I like Bernie. Yeah, I like Bernie. Yeah, I like Bernie. Or there'd be someone who's indecisive who, once again, wasn't that involved. And then we talk about Bernie's platform. Like, one of the first things I always go to was rural high-speed broadband that Bernie had his platform. Now, I think he honestly should have brought up a little bit more. Like, I took Bernie's platform and I translated to what I think would help a lot of people in South Carolina. And it was literally, I'm not even exaggerating, like, out of all people undecisive, 9 out of 10 we would flip on the spot. So then I saw the results.
When you have a platform like that, it's easy. It's easy to flip people.
Yeah, and then
when you're talking to people's material interests, it's super easy to get them. They're like, oh yeah, healthcare, oh yeah, internet, of course. Like why would I not want those things? You know, it's super easy to get them involved with that. Sorry, go ahead.
So, yeah, I mean, if it was just policies on the ballot and not people, Bernie would have won like 90% of all the votes.
Oh yeah,
this is another thing that a lot of people miss out on because. Once again, as someone on the ground in South Carolina, those results were shocking, so I looked into it. And there was exit polling that showed, once again, going to the effect of the mainstream media. And the reason why I've been on a complete rampage against the Black Congressional Caucus. That's my personal #1 priority right now is tearing down Black misleadership in the Black Congressional Caucus. Because there was an exit poll that was done that showed there was like 60% of the voters made a decision after the Clyburn endorsement. And then when the Clyburn endorsement happened, the media blasted that out on all networks. Jesse Jackson endorsed Bernie Sanders as well, but there wasn't a fucking peep when that happened. And then Clyburn endorsed him. And I didn't even realize how powerful, because there are a lot of people right now that's saying, yeah, I think the left should go after Jim Clyburn. No, I don't think so, bro. Like, Clyburn is solid in South Carolina. I remember going down there, and people was asking about, like, they was like, when I was in Beaufort, people was like, man, I'm nervous about the Clyburn endorsement. I was like, what? Are you serious? They're like, no. People was like, bro, you have no idea how powerful Jim Clyburn is.
Yeah.
No idea.
Well, but also, think about it. Like, the South is a very conservative area. So it makes sense that they would go for, like, Clyburn is not a leftist by any stretch of the imagination. He's another political grifter. But it also, like, to me, I wasn't really worried about South Carolina because I didn't see the tide coming. Like, I didn't know that was like the bait and switch. But I was just thinking, like, yeah, Biden might win South Carolina because it's a bunch of Republicans. They're not going to vote for a leftist. Like, even the Democrats, like, in California, everybody has this thought that, like, even the Republicans are, like, progressive, which is not remotely true. That's the notion that people have. But in the South, like, yeah, they're Dixiecrats. Like, even the Democrats are kind of Republican. They're all Joe Biden Republicans, basically. So I'm like, yeah, it makes sense that they would vote for him. So, okay, we lose one state. Who cares? We had the 3 before. We'll get the ones after. So, to me, like, but then, like, seeing how clearly the campaign cheated on Super Tuesday and beyond. Because, like, I remember I went to bed and they were winning. They had California on lock, and we were winning Texas. And I'm like, well, the 2 biggest states, we're good. I woke up the next day. Somehow he lost Texas. I'm like, how did that even happen? The polls were like 90% closed, but somehow.
And Biden wants to make Pete the cheat the future of America. What are you thinking, bro? What are you thinking?
Don't get me started on that motherfucker. But
when
Biden won every county in Michigan.
That was the biggest red flag.
I don't believe it.
When I saw that, I yelled.
I don't believe it.
There's no fucking way.
Not according to the exit polls.
Yeah, the exit polls are off by like 15%.
It was enough that we would have invaded.
Yeah, the UN itself. Yeah, it's so bad.
The UN.
Who's gonna regime change the U.S.? That's what I want to know.
Like the UN's cutoff for exit polling is like a 5% difference. Mm-hmm. Once it's over that, then it's like, okay, yeah, there's probably some bullshit going on. 15%? Are you kidding me?
That's wild.
I would never let them.
No, absolutely.
I would never let them shame me to silence about that. I'm open about the fact that this primary was fraudulent. Literally everyone on the ground. Johnny, he was with SEMA, and for example, they have officials like they can do it in a very obvious way, like rigging the exit polling. But there's a lot of smaller ways. We talk about this on the Black Rose Brigade podcast as well. How Johnny, he told me the story how they had posters that was there that was telling people to leave, and they were sending them to locations that was closed. So it was like blatant fraudulent activities in the election. And that was
so wait a minute, yeah. So check it out, right? Two could play, right? The thing is, if they want to play dirty at the polls, right? November 3rd, there's no reason why we can't. All this protest going on. We're going to go out like crazy, protest on November 3rd, you know what I mean? And then with all that disruption by the polls, and also, right, with COVID going on, all those old people not voting, like we can
they'll vote
shit right now.
The older generation would rather die.
I don't understand why people are saying, oh, we can't help ourselves. November 3rd, let's go out. Who's down? Huh?
Well, the thing about that is Trump's already doing a good job with messing with the November 3rd election because the mail-in ballots, of course, and I'm sure like Republicans are also very good at voter suppression. But that's why I haven't had much empathy when it comes to like Democrats screaming at the top of their lungs.
I'm going to be in the streets.
Exactly.
No, I'm not going to the streets.
And November 3rd, I'm going to be roaming the streets.
I'm not going to voting polls. I'm not. Well, I'm also not voting. But if Democrats cared about voter suppression and tampering in elections during the primary, we wouldn't even be having this issue. But they didn't care. They didn't speak up, and they just consistently set up Trump to do whatever the fuck they want. Like, remember when they tried to just cancel the presidential election in New York?
Oh, I remember that.
We didn't even talk about the first act. Where remember, was it Iowa? Remember the app? We didn't even talk about the app.
Whatever.
That seems like 10 years ago.
But,
that's like 10 years ago.
Dude, I know.
Man,
I think in your state they like throw out like 500,000 votes or something, like 500,000 in 2016.
In 2016, they did that in New York City.
We need a game plan because remember, even once again, we need
500,000.
Yeah, we need a game plan because we saw that in the Booker race when he went against Amy McGrath. A lot of the ballots were thrown out. Only one poll location in Louisville. So I think this is something that, as a movement, we need to get started on as quickly as possible. We need to figure out a way to form a coalition locally across the country that can monitor the elections. I don't know how we're gonna do it yet. I have no idea.
I will. I will do it. I will do it.
I will do it. Voting now.
I think this should be a top priority. Like I said, I don't know how we do it yet. This could be super
but
early.
How you
Trump said he was going to
I trust you.
Sorry.
I trust you, right? You guys trust me? I will go to a polling place and just hang out and tell you guys what's up. There's other people who've done like Convo Couch, you know what I mean? Like Larry, my man Larry from Seattle. They've actually gotten footage. Actually, I did an interview with him on my channel. He's called Larry from Seattle. He's been part of MPP. And the thing is that he's actually filmed Miss Dees, and the FBI went to his freaking house. But, okay, we can all go to the polls and watch what goes on.
And Johnny,
it's a public area.
Yeah, to finish that story, when Johnny told me there was people in the poll location was giving people bad information, he said him and SEMA, they was telling people the right information, and they got people to vote because they was telling people to leave. And then John and SEMA, they was telling me how they was talking to people like, no, don't leave, they bullshitting you. And then no people end up voting. Imagine if we have that coalition of progressive activists all over the country. I would love to actually bring John and SEMA.
Try to get these people to do it. I'll try to get Pan to do it. Then we can already have like 10 people in different cities. Yeah. Remember, I have my network.
They told me that
Seattle, Hawaii.
When they told me that story,
I got people in Chicago.
Yeah. When they told me that story, that's when I initially came up with the idea. Like, what if we have some sort of progressive, like, election integrity task force, like, across the country? Once again, I don't know how we can organize it yet. But once again,
where y'all from, anyways?
If we don't do that, we're gonna be fucked. Like, for example, the people this is one biggest criticism. People will just blindly fall in line and buy them because I'm like, if you just give them permission to rig this primary, what's going to happen in 2022 now that they know they can get away with it in 2024? Because if Bernie Sanders was a team player at the end of the day, Bernie Sanders was very nice to the Democratic Party. And at the end of the day, he played.
Bernie Sanders outthought them. Yeah. He had that app. Remember, Bernie had that app. That was real smart.
But there's only so many things you can do throughout the course of the election. Can you imagine how bad the establishment is already planning on rigging the election against Nina Turner in 2024? That's what I'm saying. Right now, we got to think about ways to counter that because we already seen it happen twice. We got 2016, and then 2020 came, and we was a little bit more prepared. For example, like you brought up now with the app. Like we was a little bit more. Until now,
everybody, tell me what state you're from.
Yeah.
What state you from? Shout out your state right now. Everybody on the panel, shout out your state. What state you from?
Yeah, I'm from Maryland.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Maryland.
I'm in Milwaukee.
So we're as blue as it gets. What'd you say?
I said
I'm in Milwaukee.
Yeah, we got
Milwaukee.
Yep.
I'm in Indiana.
I'm in California.
Yeah, so like we got once again we got time. This Sunday, I think United Left, a lot of different activist groups need to work on because that should be one of our no one priorities. Once again, I think our priority should be media control and controlling the narrative, and now election integrity. Because even when we do control the narrative and we win over people like we did this year, because we won on the issues at the end of the day. Medicare for all is sky high popular, even in states where Bernie Sanders lost. And Yang, I have criticism of Yang, but the idea of a UBI is way more popular now than when he first declared his race. When Tulsi got in the race and she's talking about ending endless wars, I think that issue is way more mainstream, way more popular than what. So we won on the issue, but we lost. How is that?
Yeah.
We need to figure out why that is. We can't just come in these same races blind and do the same fucking shit that cost us these elections. And so that's why I'm like, all right, so we got time. We got 4 years. Actually, I think we got 2 years because we got to worry about 2022 because now we have people like Charles Booker and Jamal Bowman. We have Paul G. Swearigan who winning. You think they're not going to go after those races either? They tried. They actually was successful with Booker and destroying and rigging that election against him. So once again, I think this is something that we need to do as a movement, to find a way to beat that. I don't know how we to do it yet. There are a lot of smart people in our movement, and a lot of people that great.
I have a question though.
Go ahead, Jackie.
I have a question. How, like, I agree with everything you're saying, but my question is, how can you get people to give a shit about the corruption, the straight up rigging of elections from within the country when you see it happen in real time and you display that? People call it conspiracy, but then they immediately want to believe Russiagate. I don't even get that.
Liberals about it. I don't have an answer on how to talk to the Russiagate people, but with Republicans, it's super easy because they already think it's corrupt. You know what I mean? They're not going to argue with you, but liberals are the ones that the demographic of voters that I cannot get them to just not believe Rachel Maddow.
We're not going to win.
It's too much Aaron Sorkin brain. They've been poisoned by West Wing.
It's the latte liberals. They're the literal worst.
Yeah.
I have an answer for you. Right? I have an answer for you from the streets, coming from the music industry. You know what I mean? The rich people, they always like the entertainment of the poor. You know what I mean? Yeah. The marginalized always are forced to innovate and adapt. So the thing is that we can come out with new, cool, right, interesting, like material, right? We are the media of the future. Look at them shows. They're so boring. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're going to come with cooler. We got a freaking progressive martial artist in the house. How interesting is that? You want to watch that or you want to watch... what's their boring-ass names? I don't even know their boring-ass names. You know what I mean? I know progressive martial artists, and that's what I watch. Yeah. That's the future.
Well, that's why I say that shit posting is how we win. And I mean that in a legitimate way. I have people that message me.
I agree.
I'll post something about my corn comrade shit, and
that's funny shit. Okay.
People will message me that are from Indiana, and they're like, "Hey, I consider myself a moderate, but I'm really not super into politics or anything," which is normal. That's what normal people are, honestly. And so I all it literally takes is just I'll take some time out of my day and I'll talk to them and I'll complain about Mike Pence because we have that here.
I'm sorry to I don't want to do a conversation, but I just want to mention one more thing for you guys because I'm part of a lot of organizations and I don't think any of you guys are any of you guys Yang Gang? No, I haven't seen you at the meetings. No, so I'll let you guys in on a little thing about.
Y'all have
I'll let you know something about. Yeah. Okay.
And we need to get organized.
I'll let you know.
I'll let you organize.
Okay.
Well, go ahead, bro.
It is.
That's a good thing. That's good.
It's actually the second best. It's the second best organization after Justice Democrats. I study all of it. I'm very intense. I also study the Biden campaign. I'm also in there. I'm getting all their emails too, okay? Also, I know what everybody's doing at all times. But the thing is that, right, just so you know, Yang Gang inside, they do not all agree with Yang. So there is the people that you think that they are, they're not, okay? They're more than that. Also, right, the thing is that I've seen some of them push Tulsi's agendas more than Tulsi's own people. There was a meeting that I was in where Yang was there, right? And he was meeting with the people, and one of the people just fucking sprung it on him. He's like, yeah, I forgot where they were from, but like they had like some kind of juice because somewhere. So I was like, yeah, I want to like let this person speak, and they just fucking sprung in his face. Yo, what about Tulsi and this fucking regime change? I was like, oh shit, why have the Tulsi people got nothing like this? They're fucking pressuring right now. I was like, oh shit. So you might find some real allies in that movement that you'd be surprised to find. You know what I mean? So look out for that. Yeah, they effective too. They badass.
The hardcore Hillary people, they're gone. Like we might as well consider those.
That's just the K-Hive.
Yeah,
honestly, I believe the K-Hive just evolved from Hillary. Yeah, I think it's the same.
That's exactly what I mean.
They still got bumper stickers, bro. Like, yeah.
I think our focus shouldn't be on winning those people over. We're gonna shave those people off over time, but we're not gonna get a lot of them. Because, for example, I know Erica.
You gotta get the non-voters.
Yeah, I know Erica was talking about this before on her Twitter. How her evolution, how she used to be more conservative, and then she turned to liberal and then progressive. We're gonna get those people that had that same story as Erica over a period of time, but we cannot let that be our focus, because if we do our damn thing and we try to win people over who don't use that not involved in the political process, or people who gave up on the political process, we're gonna win those people over anyway. What I think is the bad strategy is when we actively try to go and get those people. We need to get the people. For example, 100 million people don't vote in this country. Why is that? And I know Erica was sharing stories. We were talking before how there are a lot of people in her area in rural Indiana that don't vote. So we win when we get those people, and then there's gonna be some good faith liberals that eventually will march on the side. But I think that shouldn't be our goal. We're trying to chase those people, because we're gonna get those people in the first place. So that goes exactly to your point, DJ. We can continue to grow. We can continue to expand our network without compromising our values. Because, for example, there are always going to be disagreements on the left, but as long as we stay organized and we fight against the media class and continue to fight.
I'm loyal and all for it, and I'll tell you right now, I'm personally vouching for progressive martial artiartists. Yeah, I'm saying he's the real deal. I'm saying he's a good guy. Check him out. That's what's up. That's my word. Don't fuck up now.
Yeah, because that's one thing I've been doing. I have a lot of people from Tulsi Twitter and Yang Twitter that I didn't get along with in the primary, because a lot of people, they got mad when I criticized. But after the primary, I'm like, bro, you guys know I was criticizing you guys in good faith. Now, how we get UBI passed? Tulsi people, how do we end the wars? Like, that's why I picked up the banner, and that's why I joined the United Left, because I think that's an important movement for us to have, because we all splinter like that. We're gonna get picked apart by the corporate establishment, the mainstream media, and the Democratic Party all day long. Exactly. They'd have field day with that shit. So that's why I do like what we're doing right here, and I love that we have people from all different kind of country that can tell me different ways how we can win. You got your own experience, djelf, and Erica. Once again, she told me a lot of good things about Indiana and the rural areas over there, and how we can win those over. I've been talking with people in Texas that have been telling me how their local game plan. So I think that if we can organize this properly, and this is something I really, really want to do over the next 2 to 4 years, is get this strong left wing coalition. That's why I try my best to try to get like the general strike and the Occupy Congress and all that kind of stuff started. But once again, we need to be a little bit more organized. We need a little bit more effort from the top as well, because there's only so much that someone on the local scene can do. We need to be organized so we can plan these kind of activities and put pressure on the establishment by having this network. So it's awesome that we can hook up like that.
We need unions. That's
I was literally about to say that. I was like between election years, or of course on election years, like the people that's what I do in Indiana, and that is like 99.9% of like my activism or whatever is like I go to places that have poor working conditions, and then I'm like, hey, here's my card. Let me help you go on strike. And then I help them organize. I've made lots of really like great allies out here. My first test one was my own mom. Like I helped my mom have her first little strike. It was so cute.
That's a big victory. That's a big
especially because, man, she was a Trump voter in 2016. Oh, wow. Yeah, and now she's full on like she voted for Bernie in the primary, and then in the general, she doesn't know who she's going to vote for. She's not voting for Biden or Trump, but she's which is huge. Like even just
Can you
that.
go talk to my parents? Jesus.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have people that are like, can you please tell me what to say to my mom? And I'm like, dude, one, I withheld my grandchild. So that, like, or her grandchild. I was like, listen, this baby ain't going around no fascist. And so she figured it out.
Sometimes you gotta draw the line in the sand.
No, it was just explaining to her that, like, hey, everything bad in our lives isn't because of just Democrats. And so that was a lot of the move is just like, with not being a Democrat, it's really not that hard to flip conservatives, because as long as you're not like, oh, you know, don't vote for Trump, vote for Biden, they'll instantly just shut you out and ignore you. Instead, it's like, hey, like, we've been abandoned by the entire political establishment. And then you're able to start the conversation of like, damn, these people don't care about us. And people usually let their guard like down as long as you're not attacking them. That's like key. Just don't be mean.
Exactly. That's why I don't think liberals want to win, because all they do is attack. They attack. It's like a no-brainer to them. Like, we hate Republicans, but let me go after the leftists. It's like, you don't want anybody to vote for you, do you?
It's a cult, because once again, Erica mentioned people reach out to them, and a lot of people on Twitter see me as some sort of unreasonable far leftist or whatever. I literally have people with hashtag MAGA that follow me. I had literally conservatives that reached out more than you think. That was like, you know what?
Yep.
I actually like your brand of progressivism. And I think this is, I said this before, and this is something I mentioned. I think one of the biggest mistakes Bernie made on his campaign was having Trump derangement syndrome. And when I said that, people was like, what? Did I explain myself? Because, for example, this is my point. When Bernie Sanders would give a speech, Bernie Sanders would say shit like, Joe Biden, my good friend. Donald Trump is the worst president of all time. Donald Trump is a racist. He's a sexist. He's a homophobe. Now
Biden.
Yes.
So the fuck is Joe Biden.
Yes.
I can't.
Now the substance of what he's saying is not untrue. But if you listen to Bernie Sanders' speech and you hear him say that, and then a casual observer listen to a Pete Buttigieg speech, and they hear Pete Buttigieg say the exact same, Trump is a homophobe, he's a liar, Joe Biden's a decent guy. They see Bernie Sanders as a Democratic operative instead of an outsider. And this is one reason why Bernie Sanders did not have the support he had in 2016. Because I do think there's a lot of anti-establishment people in 2016 that saw Bernie Sanders going after Hillary Clinton and her crew that started supporting Bernie because of that. And then they see Bernie Sanders saying stuff like, oh, I think Joe Biden can beat Trump. Oh, I think the Democrat Party, they're just okay. And now they see him as an agent of the Democrat Party instead of as a tool that's trying to destroy the oligarchy, which he was. Once again, he just ran the wrong brand. And once again, I convert conservatives because they know. For example, I would talk shit on Trump, and one thing I always talk about on my Twitter is foreign policy, because that's one of the easiest things to get people to flip on. And a lot of people underestimate how many Trump supporters went for Trump because because he painted this image of an anti-imperialist, even though he wasn't. To this day,
I like to ask a question.
Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
I like to ask you a question. So the thing is that, right, you're a martial artist, so you study behavior. Yeah. And let's take a look at Bernie Sanders back in the day. He made like a 4-hour, like all day. He spoke all day. He wrote a book about it, about his protests, about the way people were spending the money. You remember that, right? That's one of the things he's famous for. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah?
You mean, you say his book?
Right. No. There's a book written about a long speech that he gave that on the Congress floor because he's so eloquent and because he has so much to say about certain subjects. You know, you can't stop him. He knows a lot of facts. But when you look at the attack on Trump, it's very strange because a good attack would be something specific, like, oh, okay, he misspent money in this particular way, and this, and this is what we have to examine. That if you look at his attack on Trump, it's very uncharacteristic of him, and it sounds artificial. And sounds like the talking points told him by the DNC. So let's take a look at who's influencing him. Yeah. So let's take a look at who's influencing him. Hillary Clinton, who's also tied with Jeffrey Epstein. They can get to Jeffrey Epstein. They can get to Bernie Sanders. And we should be having his back. And the people should be watching his house every night, making sure that dude's safe. You know what I mean? But they can't do that. You know what I mean? They're leaving the dude alone. They're not watching. You know what I mean?
If you're going to threaten Bernie Sanders, You're not going to threaten him. You're going to threaten one of his grandchildren or somebody.
Like Jerry Epstein, they have no morals. They have no limits. You know what I mean? And to look at the obvious, the obvious contradictions, to me, it's very clear that they get into.
I never understood why Bernie didn't bring up Yemen.
What do you think about that?
I never understood that. Because Yemen is one of my go-tos when it comes to going after
he's calling for help. He's calling for help.
But what was you about to say? I think you about to say Nick.
He's saying this is fake.
Nick, what you about to say,
I was saying is, I was gonna say, like, the reason I think he leaned into that sort of Trump derangement syndrome is, I think, if you're someone who's trying to win the Democratic primary, you have to understand that you are talking to liberals, and so and that's what liberals believe. Liberals watch Rachel Maddow when they watch these sorts of they watch Don Lemon, right? And so I think to that he was trying to assuage them, and he was trying to say, hey, this is I see what you see, Trump is evil or whatever, whatever that is, whatever that was, it definitely seemed out of character to anyone who knew him.
I get that, but he could still do that on brand. Because when he went after Trump, it was entirely ad hom, and he was DJ was saying, that is not his style. His style is to go after policy. He could have tanked Joe Biden before this even started. If he went after Biden,
anyone out there could.
Biden's dead in the water.
We gave him a pass. We gave Bernie a pass.
Sanders is too intelligent for that. Sanders is too intelligent.
I remember
Sanders never went in such a dumb way before.
A lot of us gave Bernie a pass for Trump derangement syndrome because we saw that strategy he was trying to do, because in order for Bernie to win, he had to win the older vote. Now, what Bernie should have done is, when he saw the polling with him getting 2% of the boomer vote, he got wiped with the boomer vote. Because once again, so when I say that was him leaning into Trump derangement syndrome was a back strategy, that is me saying that in hindsight. That is me being an armchair quarterback. I want to admit that. What Bernie and them should have did, when they did their Trump derangement attacks, and they looked at the internal polling and they see that he wasn't winning, boomers were doing that, I think that's when he should immediately course correct. Once again, that is me. Once again, that's me saying that after the fact.
And I do think there's no. I mean,
honestly, let's be real. The reason why Bernie didn't get boomers and was never going to get boomers is because of Red Scare. Because they hear socialist, they think communist, and they think communism means authoritarianism and totalitarianisism. So because all of these words are the same thing in their heads, because they lived through the McCarthy trials. It hurt. They remember that. I think that they know communism bad, and so all it takes
maybe I'm wrong.
The communist, and they're like, oh, scary. He was never going to get their vote.
I just don't think Bernie ever should have said socialist. I know that sounds like some people think I'm crazy for it, but if he wanted to run as a Democrat, especially in the age of second wave McCarthyism, with him even saying democratic socialist, I think he really kneecapped himself from the beginning.
That's what I'm saying. Once the word socialist was said, he lost all the boomers and he's not getting them back.
But that was from the 90s. He claimed that from the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta get going here, guys. But I'll make one more point on what Erica was saying. It's I think the other thing is, though, if you're Bernie, you're in a rock and a hard place, right? Because people, you got videos of you in Russia in the 80s, singing along, and you already got the sort of communist socialist label on you. So if you just say, "Oh no, I'm a Democrat," well, now.
No, I understand what you're saying.
So you kind of have to lean into it. But anyway, thanks for the conversation.
Yeah,
guys.
bro, absolutely, man. Thanks for dropping by.
Hey, nice to meet you, man.
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
Put your link in the chat. I want to sub to you.
Yeah, of course, man.
Put your link in the chat. Thanks.
I got you. All right, cool. All right, I'll see y'all.
See ya.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So I think,
because we have a little pause. That's Jackie.
I'm sorry, Jackie. Go ahead. Jackie.
Anybody want to talk about the new Senate bill that McConnell proposed?
What?
Oh, I haven't seen it. What is it?
I didn't look into it that much yet.
It's I'm looking at the line by line, little things here and there. So basically, there's no second stimulus. This is the specifically the McConnell one. He wants to extend spending, but not the money. So basically, the spending deadline, which was September 30th, he wants to push that to December 27th. But basically, just to give his friends more time to loot the treasury. And as far as the Postal Service, they want to forgive $10 billion treasury loan from the CARES Act. For unemployment, they're going to give $300 a week an extra. And again, it ends December 27th. And for, there's so much in this. But basically, like, the short of it is, he's like, okay, I'll give the unemployment $300 a week instead of the $600 that it was before. From what I've seen, there's no mention of like backdating. So it most likely just starts when it starts. And no second stimulus check to people. And the rest of the money is just going right back to corporations.
Very cool.
They're so short-sighted. Like, if they actually followed through on, I don't remember who exactly proposed it first, but the $2,000 a month backdated to March.
That was Marky, Kamala, and Bernie.
Yeah.
If they actually followed through with that, the economy would be better now than ever in the history of ever, and it would stay that way. It wouldn't just be this little tiny money grab that they're going to do for the rich again, and then in 6 months the rich are going to cry about how their profits are down again. Now they have to do it again. If they would just actually care about the people for like 2 seconds.
Not even just care about the people. I mean, whichever party pushed and passed this would win the election, and they would sweep. But that's why they're not letting each other pass it.
Yeah,
like,
I said this from day one.
Right now.
I said this from day
Trump
one.
is not waiting. He decided to do things on his own. So he did the $300 is in his executive order. The state of California just accepted that. I just got a $300 check from that.
And Wisconsin still hasn't even accepted that. It's
it's
state by middle finger. There's like 42 states in
California. Also, I just saw yesterday he just did a rent moratorium thing, or an eviction moratorium thing.
The CDC did, yeah.
Congress did fuck all about. So what are people going to see? Oh, Trump kept me from losing my house.
Mm-hmm. See, Trump, he could have won this election easy.
From the beginning, this was going to happen.
Exactly.
I said it
We all
before.
saw it coming.
I said it before.
Like Nick said, he is not stupid. He is doing
he's actually pretty smart.
Get reelected.
Trump,
and I honestly think it's working. I think he just solidified his base, which is all he needed to do. He's not like the libs. He's not like the libs are trying to steal Republicans. You can't. He just solidified that.
After all the work they did, after all the millions and millions of dollars the Lincoln Project poured in, after having all the Republican speakers at their convention, after constantly kicking the left, they only at 5%. You realize that Donald Trump got more Democrats.
Lost like 20% to get that 5.
Yeah, exactly. Donald Trump, I think, if I remember the number, I think Donald Trump had 8% of Democrats in 2016. So technically, the Democrats' plan to get more Republican voters is less effective than Trump's non-existent plan of getting Democrats voters in 2016. Like you said, Jack Lee, I can't disagree with you when you say they don't want to win, because I don't see it. I don't see any indication of them wanting to win. They want to fundraise off of Trump, and they once again, they've been making bank fundraising.
They already won the one election they wanted to win, and that was to make sure Bernie didn't get in office.
In 2016, in the general election, you had, if you go back and you look at the breakdown of how much money was spent on that election, first it's going to make your stomach hurt, but Hillary Clinton spent twice the money that Trump did on that election. Like, literally, Trump had like 300 million, she had like 600 million. It's absolutely disgusting. But if you look now at how much money the Democratic establishment is able to raise off of not only like their donors, but a lot of like, like the upper white middle class liberals. I mean, it's insane. They just throw money at it and call it activism and then, keep it stepping. And then they have the Lincoln Project that somehow is supposed to convince anyone to vote for him.
Well, that's not true. They also give sideways claps and they tear up.
God, you know what? You're right. I thought that was going to end qualified immunity. It didn't. But
we just got to try it again.
You know what? There's one. There are not enough streets where BLM is painted on the street.
Honestly, I was really upset when I was brutalized in Kenosha because there wasn't a BLM thing on the ground when I got beat. And so I'm really hoping that they're able to update that before riots break out again.
Warren with the BLM blocks.
I think the one in Milwaukee is already gone. I think someone painted over it.
Probably.
I'd like to actually propose a certain solution. So the thing is that, right, like all this stuff is going on, but I think that what would be cool, a platform for somebody to run on and say 100% transparency. The people love reality TV show. They want Donald Trump. Let's make being in office a reality TV show. Anytime you're in office, any meeting you have, any consultant want to visit you, any lobbyist want to visit you, that shit got to be recorded. If someone wants to take a fucking secret vote, fuck you. Like, take the camera, pan right over the face. You want to you want to have a secret vote, right? Okay, then you pan to all the people. CNN already does this to an extent, you know. But let's make it let's make it entertaining. What do you think? I think that would be an ill platform to run on.
I understand what you're saying. I could definitely get behind the idea of like if you're going to be meeting with a special interest lobbyist, having it.
But all the time, anytime you go to office from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or like 9 a.m. to like 8 p.m., you got to be on that camera all the time.
The problem is with that is
after hours, though.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that as well is it's not entertainment. Like it is a lot of like what they do is just trash. I mean, like
that's because they're boring. I'll do it. Have progressive martial artists. You do it. I don't mind watching you train. I don't mind watching you train once in a while. I don't mind if you're sleeping. You know what I mean? That's a little weird. I know some lady's going to be watching you. I'm not going to hate. You know what I mean? Whatever, they can have the fantasy. But honestly, I'll be watching you when you're doing your work. You know what I mean? So everybody has what they want. But I'd be willing to make that sacrifice because I just want to do what's best for the people. I think it'll make me a more honest person, and I'll be cool with that.
Instead of doing all that, why don't we just outlaw lobbyists? Like, why don't we just have people? Why don't we just have
Citizens United?
Public financing of the election.
Here's a crazy idea that I thought of. Okay, you guys ready?
They help themselves to COVID money. They help themselves to COVID money. That's how powerful they are. They literally wrote they wrote a thing in there. Lobbyists get extra money. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, all the bills that are proposed. You don't think Congress is actually writing them, right?
No, the COVID relief fund. They literally wrote themselves a little side check. Mm-hmm. You don't know about that?
I know that
they literally wrote themselves a side check.
Some of the spouses also were able to take money from the CARES Act, which is just
disgusting,
insane. It's insane. Like,
well, and then also even before the pandemic really kicked off, when they were getting their briefings about it, they were switching up. They were essentially doing
insider trading.
Trading, and nobody's gone to jail for that.
Nope.
I remember that was
literally trying to profit off of the mass deaths of Americans, but
that just showed the growth impact.
That's why I said before that Bernie was the compromise, because Medicare for all is the neo-lib version of what I want.
Amen.
Okay, what I want.
Yeah, that's like
I want like NHS
for
type
people to profit off of pain. Period.
And
so I think that like being a doctor should be a noble position, not a way to earn money. Like you should be able to make a living off of it, but that's not something to get rich from.
Well, most of the money is like within the healthcare industry, because like so that I am going to school to be a bioengineer to work with CRISPR. So the money that like researchers and doctors are paid are nothing compared to like the criminal costs of things in hospitals. Like the fact that they charge
CRISPR is DNA analysis. A lot of people won't know what CRISPR is. CRISPR is DNA analysis.
CRISPR specifically gene editing. Yeah.
Basically, it's just going to create splice. It's an old movie. Nobody's seen it. But you know what I'm talking about.
I just don't make any like crazy.
Well, it's a way of taking down the pharmaceutical companies. Honestly, we don't need to get into that. That's a lot. But
and creating a hybrid alien girl.
That's it. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make myself cooler genetically.
Wait, are we finally going to make the cat girls? Is that what this is about?
Yes, this is actually it. Finally. This is what I'm dedicating years of school to. But anyway, the crazy part to me, whenever I started really learning about like the costs within the healthcare industry in general, was when my mom had a heart attack in 2012, and we had no insurance. So we were told by someone to get an itemized bill for the hospital trip. And I was like, okay. And so I looked at it and I was just like, It was like legitimately like $50 for like some aspirin. Like one IV drip is like over $100 for a bag of saline that costs 50 cents to manufacture. Like, and these are the people that are controlling who lives and who dies, and they're the ones that are fully donating both parties. Like it's,
and I'd like to,
it's insane.
That's what I said. You should not be able to profit off of pain and suffering.
Exactly.
So it should be like, to me, I don't understand how we are perfectly fine with the fire department and like elementary schools and police departments being completely socialized, but healthcare, that's a bridge too far. What?
That's a great way to transition. That's a great way to transition because
that is such a good way of putting it.
Because
I'd like to
go ahead, DJ. Go ahead, bro.
I'd like to just point out the level of rot in the system, and just to let you know how personal this is. Actually, I was in medical school. I have some videos about like teaching about like different medical topics. That's how I know what CRISPR is. Yeah. The thing is that actually I was removed from med school for taking on this very issue because I'm a lot older than I look. I'm 40. I'm in my 40s.
Damn,
you're
so
the thing is,
you do look super young, bro. I did not think that at all.
Okay. I was actually right. Yeah. Okay. Just so you know. The thing is that, okay, but I was also homeless when I was 16. You know what I mean? And I've also lived on the streets for a good portion of my life. So the thing is that I know how, like, when you go to the hospital, how they mistreat you. I know exactly what you're talking about to the deepest extent. I know also nobody's innocent. You know what I mean? I know there's patients who rip the system. I know doctors ripping the system. I know the whole thing's dirty. Yeah. But when I was in med school, the fact that I brought this issue made me marginalized, and they got rid of me for exactly confronting this issue. They are literally, those schools are meant to breed out people who will be going against the system because that's what level of control they exert.
There's like journalism in Harvard. They pretty much train people how to be tools of the establishment. That's
just the way they have cops, right? They're building that psychological profile. They also are building psychological profile for the leaders of tomorrow, like Pete's and stuff like that. It's real deep shit. It's deep stuff.
I mean, this kind of stuff.
It's a deep level.
And since we're talking about healthcare, we can end it with this segment here. Cause we almost had 2 hours. Cause this is like a perfect way to segment it. This article right here, it came out 3 days ago, and this has been a primary focus of mine. And a lot of people wonder why I'm extremely militant about Medicare for all the way I am right now. And this is the reason why I think Joe Biden is disqualified. Because this right here in any other country will cause a national emergency. Because what we're seeing right now, I don't mince words when I say shit. This is a healthcare genocide of our people. 68,000 American people die. 68,000 Americans die each year. And not only that, it's a financial emergency. Half of U.S. adults fear medical bankruptcy. Half.
What I want to know is how is it only half? How is it only half though? It should be a lot higher than that.
They could easily.
Well, they like to keep the upper middle class comfortable enough. That's why you have like some unions that'll have like decent healthcare. You'll have, the military, of course, like they have full healthcare coverage. So as long as they can keep the managerial class comfortable enough, it'll kind of help postpone any kind of revolution because that's that bourgeoisie class there that stands in the way. And it's the managerial class that's able to kind of suppress the working class for the upper class. It's so disgusting.
So when people get mad at me, I mean, Erica would know. I mean, I'm passionate about what I talk about because I know people with medical debt. I know how that affects their life. It's at 15.
I'm going to be filing bankruptcy the second I get a job because of my medical debt.
I mean, I look at that as low. It's that 15% of all adults say they or someone in their household carries. So they are in someone in their household. So they don't even cover people that they know. I mean, like almost everyone knows someone who has the same amount of medical debt. My aunt.
I mean, my parents filed bankruptcy in 2010 for medical debt, and then my dad's doing it again. So
yeah, I mean, I'm literally the moment I get a job that's actually stable, filing bankruptcy because I have like mid six figures in medical debt. I'm 30. What the fuck do you want from me?
And so you have a large percent of Americans who can't even afford a $400 bill. And then you're looking at this COVID situation. It said the price tag for the illness, which was marked at the start of the pandemic at $1,300 out-of-pocket cost. Like what? Like, and then we in the middle of a pandemic. You got all these people that are gonna have these fat medical bills, and for some reason, the Democratic Party doesn't think this is some sort of emergency. These people with medical debt aren't happy that they fell under medical debt under the lesser of two evils. At the end of the day, they got fucking medical debt, and this is destroying their lives. And this is why it will always be a litmus test for me. And I said from the very beginning, for anyone who think that my position is unreasonable, if anything, I'm being too generous because I have 1,000,000,001 problems with Joe Biden. This doesn't even cover because I'm a staunch anti-imperialist. I said I will never vote for another war criminal ever again. But Medicare for All is so important for me. I'm willing to swallow my pride on his support of the police state. I'm willing to swallow my pride for his shilling of the military-industrial complex, his shilling of the credit card companies, if he said he would support Medicare for All. That's how important it is. Because the people don't frame this issue the way it should be framed. They just say there's a healthcare crisis and that's it. It's a healthcare genocide. Yep. What do you call it when 68,000 Americans die because they don't have healthcare? That's a genocide every fucking year. Well, and by our CEOs in the healthcare industry. Go ahead, Erica.
Wasn't it like 530,000 Americans file bankruptcy due to medical bills every single year?
Yes.
That's a lot of people every year. So 68,000 are dying. 532,000 are filing bankruptcy. I don't understand. Just add it to the category of necessary services like education, like policing. Like how is it that our police budgets are in the millions per city?
Yes.
But we have a zero budget for healthcare. That doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, when you boil it down, it's really simple. They don't care about poor people. Cops aren't here to protect poor people either.
It's not even poor people. This is middle class people.
Well, they don't. To them, they can't. Middle class is still.
They're just so heavily funded. Like both parties are funded by the military-industrial complex and then the healthcare industry. That's something that's like a bipartisan effort, is to maintain like the private insurance company and it's insane. Honestly, it's like I
care about you. I understand.
They care about you like they care about their food.
Oh wait, go ahead, Jackie.
They care about you like they care about their food.
Go ahead, Jackie.
Well, my point is, like, I understand why corrupt politicians are doing that because they're getting paid from them. My question, because like Joe Biden has like so many health insurance companies on his payroll, which is why he says shit like, "Oh, my son died, therefore you can't have Medicare." Okay, fuck you. But anyway, what I'm wondering is the mindset of the people, of the middle class.
Yeah.
How is it that the people, because when the people decide, hey, enough is enough, you're doing Medicare for all, or we're not voting for you, when the latte liberals get that on their minds, then the Democratic Party has to concede. Exactly. They don't. And like I said, like, it's not all middle class people. Like some of those 532 bankruptcies, like, the 68,000 people who die, most of them were not middle class. Most of them are poor. But of the 532,000 bankruptcies every year, a good portion of that is middle class.
Yeah, it turned people from middle class to lower class once they get that medical bill in.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because like you said, it was a $32,000 copay. Exactly. Like, even if you have a good job, let's say you make like $100,000, can you afford a $32,000 copay along with, that's just for COVID. So if you had diabetes or you had heart medication or anything else, you still have to pay that stuff.
I read a story.
You still have to pay your $25 to $40 copay for your doctor's visits just to make sure you're okay. Which, by the way, if you had COVID, all that shit just tripled because now you have to go to the doctor more often.
Yeah.
To make sure you're still okay.
You want to know what one of the most tragic stories that happen all the time that's not told by the media? I read a story not too long ago. I wish I remember the names and all that stuff. But it was just pretty much someone telling his story. He was a working class individual for like 4 decades or so. He was nearing retirement. And he was one of the people who had financial sense, because what the upper class liberals and what a lot of conservatives do, they try to put the blame on poor people and working class people for not having good financial sense. This guy played by the rules. He did everything right. He got a job. He saved money from day one, and he had enough money saved up where he can buy a house and retire. And then he got cancer. So after saving money for 40 plus years, working working hard for our country, just like that, in about 3 months, his whole savings was wiped out dealing with cancer. And I'm like, dude, wonder how common that story is. That's a tragic story that happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine working for 40 years, doing the right thing, saving. Cause I remember I wish I remember, because it was a while ago. I read a story. He was like, I used to put. He didn't make a lot of money. He was like, I put a little bit away here, a little bit away here, a little bit away here. Over 40 years, and he got a good stash. All of that was wiped out in a period of a few months. And what was his crime? What was he guilty of?
He had the audacity to get sick while poor.
This is the kind of shit that
not even poor, but you know what I mean.
So people act like I'm crazy. Like like people see the critics I get on Twitter all the time. People act like I'm crazy. But how does that story not radicalize every single person in this country? I would not understand. I would never understand.
I can explain exactly why.
Go ahead, Jackie.
It's because of the propaganda of the mindset. Or the mindset is that I don't want to rock the boat for the rich people because one day I might be them. But in reality, you're one paycheck away from being poor.
Embarrassed millionaire.
Yeah, perfect.
Exactly. Like the reality is, like almost all middle class people are closer to becoming poor than they ever are to becoming wealthy. Especially if you consider wealth like billionaire status. You are way closer to the poor people than you are to the billionaires, but you don't want to think like that. You want to think, no, I'm the American standard. And you want to think, hey, even if it's not me, maybe my kids can become rich one day.
You know what?
So that's the mentality that keeps people from helping themselves.
You want to know what the perfect example of that mentality is, and something that drove me absolutely crazy during the course of the primary is whenever people brought up the wealth tax. And I've seen ordinary working class people defend or fight against the wealth tax that Bernie was proposing. Bernie wealth tax was pretty goddamn moderate as far as I'm concerned. Cause he started taxing people. Please, someone remind me the number if I say it wrong. But I think it was like $10 million a year he was making. That when he started taxing on his plan. I don't remember the exact amount, but it was an ungodly number. And this is like per year. So it's like the amount of people that would be affected.
And it was only like 2%, like it started at like 1% and they gradually got bigger. I'm like, you need to start at $1 million a year and you need to start at least 10%. And then we can go from there. Then we get progressive. You start making like $10 million, you make 20, 100%. 30. If you make $50 million a year, you don't need $50 million per year. If you have like a one really good year, hey, congratulations. You get to help your fellow human beings because we're taking 80% of that bitch. That's what I wanted, but Bernie was a little more subtle.
He was moderate and people was going against his plan. Working class people, I'm like, that's literally the perfect example of this propaganda that people was fed. And they think they're gonna reach that level one day. Like for example, Bernie's wealth tax didn't touch people who make $5 million a year. Do people have any idea how much $5 million a year is? Divide that by 12. Then divide it by 4 and realize how much they get paid.
Figured out. Like that's I figured out that I could retire for the rest of my life and live comfortably $10 million.
Go ahead, DJ. Total. What you about to say, DJ?
Okay, quick. So the thing is, right, do you guys know anybody who's like really super fabulously wealthy?
Personally?
Not fabulous. I know some people with money.
Depends on where the line is.
Very wealthy. It depends on what the number is that we're talking.
So there's levels to this shit.
Okay,
levels to this shit.
Yeah, coming from entertainment industry, right? You do, and just like just being like the kind of lifestyle that I'm in, right? You have people that are real rich, but then you have people that are real poor, but then you also have people real rich also hanging out with you. You get what I mean? So I'd be hanging with people, and honestly, to tell you the truth, their lifestyle is kind of like they trapped in their own thing, and they're not necessarily happy with it either. You know what I mean? So the thing is that we're kind of freeing them, but because they get into this kind of war with each other, you know what I mean? They have to they're forced to play this game where you have to take it all. You know what I mean? So they're like by taking that away from them, it's actually helping them to lead more normal lives.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy like that. It's an unhealthy lifestyle. They know it too. That's why you see them wanting to hang out with normal people. They can't.
I wish they.
What I don't understand is why the super rich aren't saying, "Yeah, go ahead and tax me." Like some of them did. I think Zuckerberg even said it. Some of them are like, "Yeah, go ahead and tax me." They should all be saying that because if anybody knows history, you can't be top heavy for too long because eventually the bottom will rise up.
Yeah. Like a lot of people say that shit, and they don't support the politicians that actually want to implement it. I think a lot of them they just be trying to say shit to make themselves look good. But then when the political reality hits, they're nowhere to be found. Like there's nowhere to be found.
They're trying to just not be one of the first people that gets eaten. That's pretty much it.
Anyway, I think we
all know that Jeff Bezos is first on the chopping block.
Oh yeah.
There's that one.
But then there's people after
him. Actually good. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's the only one we're saving. So.
Erica, I think you would understand more than most because you're around this CRISPR technology. So this kind of like startup funds, this kind of technology thing, it's all about that. It's this kind of rush to like be the one in the space. It's like pioneering. It's fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you get like wrapped up into this IPOs, and then it becomes its own like self-fueling thing. You know what I mean? It's like it's no longer like reality. It's like
absolutely
some fantasy land. Yeah.
But yeah, I think
like, that's why it gets like that.
So we're at 2 hours in. So I think it was a great, like I said, it was impromptu. Like Erica announced a message, like, oh shit, I think I'm gonna go live. You want to join me? And then Jackie.
I was literally finishing my floor.
Yeah, DJ Elf. I found him
on Twitter. I'm like, oh hey.
Yeah. And then you just hopped in. Just so happened, DJ Elf I saw him in the comments. So appreciate you.
Because I'm subscribed, then I get notifications.
Hell
because
I appreciate you, brother.
This is my guy right here. So I get the notification. That's what's up.
Yeah, I appreciate
Hit the bell right now.
I appreciate you,
brother. No doubt, man. I
my
love
thing is,
yeah.
Like I said, I've been blessed with the platform I had. Like I tell people, and I was telling Thea this the other day, and she was like, "What?" I had like 500 followers last summer, so I'm blessed with the platform that I got over the last year. So what I do, I'm trying to pass the microphone to all my homies. Like that's literally what I want to do. That's why I was like, bro, if you guys want to come on, I'm live streaming. Hell yeah, let's do this. Because I know me and Erica, we're gonna have a discussion tomorrow about what she saw in Kenosha. That's why I was trying to avoid that topic today, just so we had a little bit more to talk about the next day. But she's gonna be on tomorrow. We still don't work out exact time. I'm thinking around 1 p.m. Central. That's usually my go-to streaming time. I know Sleeping Socialist Savvy, she wanted to join, and she had one of the friends. I think you might know her, Erica, who was actually there when you guys had your friends that passed away, unfortunately. So tomorrow, guys, make sure you check out the stream. I'm very excited about doing this. It's something that we want to do for a while because I really love, and this is something that me and DJ Elp talked about before. We love people that not only just online, but actually out there doing the goddamn thing. And,
hell yeah.
And that's why I want to pick their brain, see what they saw on the ground. And Erica got a lot of great tips on how to be an effective protester, effective medic. And I want her to preach to the crowd. That's why I'm glad I have my platform, because as a citizen journalist, what I want to do, I want to pass the mic. Now that I've been given the platform, I think it's effective. Pass the mic to other people. And that's what my show is about. That's why when I throw these live streams together, I'm like, hey, if you want my homies, come on, bro. Tell me a story. Tell me what's going on in your mind. That's what I want my channel to be about. So I appreciate all you guys for coming on, and I hope all you guys check out. I'm gonna be tweeting about the show me and Erica to be doing tomorrow. Then we got the Black Rose Brigade podcast on Friday after that. And then I'm thinking that maybe Saturday we can do another sit down and be like this. If you guys are available on Saturday, I think I'm going to be doing that. So that's the schedule going this week. I'm going to be with Erica Savvy and her friend tomorrow. The Black Rose Brigade podcast is every Friday. And then we'd have we didn't be on Saturday, probably 1 o'clock Central. Obviously, that's like my main streaming time. And we can meet and kind of gather like this. We can talk and have a good time. So I definitely enjoyed this. So I appreciate you guys coming on for sure.
Appreciate you.
I do want to, if you don't mind, I wanted to plug something real quick.
Absolutely.
Today at 6 p.m., so in like an hour and a half or so, I've had a lot of people reach out to me since I started posting about like growing up as a conservative and then now going out of my way to try and flip voters and just talk to people. And so I stream off of Left Flank Veterans, which is on Twitch. You can find it. I mean, I tweet it out, but it's also like on our Left Flank Veterans account. I'm going to be going through and telling people how to flip conservatives or non-voters, like the white trash working class, like how to do it. Because I've got it down pretty effectively, but dear mother of God, I need more people doing it because there's so many.
Yes.
So that's going to be today at 6 Eastern time. So I just wanted to plug that, and then I'm gonna hop off. I have a toddler who is I think he's
go ahead, like, DJ. We got plugged. You got anything you want to plug, DJ L?
Yo, just of course the channel. YouTube.com/D/djl7. I will actually put I'm gonna look everybody who was up here and put their. If they don't do it, I'm gonna put their links in the comments. I'm just kidding, but you guys should do it, right?
Yeah.
Put your links in the comments for all your stuff. I can't wait to subscribe to you guys. I really want to share you with the world. I think everybody here was awesome today.
Jackie,
once again, my channel's djelf7 and Squid Chronicle on Twitter.
Yeah, Jackie, plug your podcast one more time.
It's called Rose Against the Machine. Right now it's on Podbean and TuneIn. And the episode that just dropped today is you talking about Biden.
Nice.
So fresh episode. Go check it out.
And Alex, you got anything you want to plug real quick before we head out?
I just shitpost on Twitter.
Yeah, he my co-host.
I don't have anything.
He my co-host pretty much. So anyway, thanks you guys for checking out the stream.